Alright, next up in my line of math videos, we are talking about the distributive property. So, this is our keyword, distributive. So when I distribute things to the class, it means each person in my class gets part of whatever I have. That would make it most fair. It's like if I come into a classroom of 22 students and I only pass out 7 cookies, well, that means I got 15 kids mad at me. And I typically don't want you to be mad at me. So when we're working with our distributive property, we usually have something in parentheses and something on the outside of those parentheses. Now this literally means 3 multiplied by this quantity. Or in other words, we're taking the quantity in the parentheses and we're adding it together however many times we see outside of the parentheses. So if we think back to our like terms, we know that x, and x are all like terms. If we have one x and we add another x and we add another x, that will give us 3x. And now we can work on our constants or our numbers. So positive 6 plus positive 6 plus positive 6 is positive 18. So this up here is the same thing as this down here. We just did the process to prove it. Now the shortcut way we like to do in the math community is we're going to take that number on the outside of our parentheses and we're going to multiply it by everything on the inside of our parentheses. So 3 times x will just become 3x, and 3 times positive 6 will just become positive 18. So you can see we got the same answers both ways. One is quicker, but you are able to utilize either way you prefer, because you should most definitely arrive at the same answer. You could do both and check your work if you prefer. Depending on the complexity of the problem, it will make it easier to choose which method to use. I'm going to do a couple more examples just so you get the hang of the distributive property. Let's see if we have a negative 4. And then in parentheses, x minus 14. So the way we can think about this is we're going to take our negative 4 and multiply by everything in the parentheses. Make sure you are watching your signs when you do this. So negative 4 times x will just become negative 4x. A negative 4 times a negative 14 will become a positive 56. For this distributive property, you need to know your multiplication and division rules. So when you are multiplying or dividing, if you have the same sign, so either 2 positive numbers or 2 negative numbers, your product or your quotients will be positive. Okay, so same signs, we're talking you have 2 numbers. If they are both positive numbers, your answer will be positive. If they are both negative numbers, your answer will still be positive. Okay, if you have a different sign, so meaning one is positive and one is negative, your answer will be negative. Okay, so it's fairly simple to remember these integer rules as opposed to the addition and subtraction rules. Those get a little bit more complicated, but same sign, positive. Different sign, negative. And this is only when you are multiplying or dividing. Okay, so the distributive property shouldn't be too bad.